guys, go grab yourself a cup of your favorite tea or coffee or hot chocolate or whatever it is that you like to drink. Ice water, I've heard it is very warm where some of you people live and you don't feel like having tea. Iced tea is always an option, by the way, just saying. Anyways, it is tea time and I am going to talk to you today about productivity, time management, finding motivation, stuff like that. Making yourself do work or stuff that needs to be done. I personally feel like I am pretty good at this, at time management and just making sure I am productive, and I always hear from you guys that for some reason watching my videos and most specifically my vlogs makes you feel extra productive and stuff, which is really nice to hear. I always feel like I could do better and I am always working on trying to do better. There are a lot of things that go wrong with me as well. I'm gonna just kind of talk about my situation first and then answer a bunch of your questions like I always do with my tea time topics. So yeah, first of all, I think it is good to know that I currently am a business owner. A few months ago, Loepsie officially became a business, so I am now a professional, officially a professional YouTuber and blogger. So I work from home and of course I have to worry about not only content creation, you know, coming up with new ideas, making the actual videos, producing the videos, editing, uploading, doing all the marketing stuff, making sure the videos get out there, PR stuff, communication with companies that I have potential sponsorships with, communication with my management, administration, bookkeeping, stuff like that, all the financial stuff that comes with owning a business. A lot of other stuff that is part of my job as well, like for example, I came out with my perfume a while back, Tea Garden, so developing that took quite a bit of time. And I have my blog as well, of course, which I type blog posts for, again, content creation. And then there's also going to events, you know, getting out there, communicating with different people. So yeah, all of that is kind of what my job incites. I manage everything myself. When it comes to time, I am my own boss, which is amazing. By the way, guys, I can highly recommend it if you're anything like me. I don't like being told what to do by other people. I've noticed this in the course of my life. That is something that I just don't really... Yeah, I have trouble with that. I know myself really well and I have my own methods of doing things and I know that that works, and I just like to be able to do things the way I want to do them, when I want to do them. Yeah, being self-employed is wonderful for me. I absolutely love it. And I don't think I ever want to work for a boss. Anyways, that is beside the point. I work from home, so I have to manage my time pretty well. There are a lot of distractions around the home and pitfalls. So, especially when working from home, time management is such a huge thing. There are, well, working from home can go one of two ways. You can either struggle with getting yourself to work at all because you keep getting distracted by all the things inside your home, household chores that need to be done, just stuff that's happening. If you have kids, then your children that are running around, or just your partner or the people you live with in general. Or, you know, even kind of like fun things like that book that's just looking at you, you've been reading all week and you can't wait to continue in. And then the other thing is that, you know, technically when you work from home, you never leave your home, but you never leave your work either, so you're actually always at work, and it can be, sometimes for some people it can be really hard to actually know when to stop working, and try not to work 24/7 or whenever you're awake. I actually struggle with both time to time. Sometimes it can be really hard for me to get anything done or to push myself to get anything done at all, and sometimes I notice 3 days have gone by and I haven't taken a moment to myself. Now, of course, my work is my hobby, or some aspects of my work are my hobby as well. So sometimes I will continue working because I want to finish something, but that's not always the case. Sometimes I will just work way too long because I feel like I have to get stuff done, and that is not a good situation. So let me just grab some of your guys' questions and see if I can kind of give you more information through these questions that I've gotten. How do you make sure you stay productive when working from home? Yeah, that is a big one. I've personally set a kind of rule for myself, which works actually with both situations, both not working enough and working too much. 9 to 5 are my work hours. I will just wake up. It doesn't really matter when I wake up, as long as I'm ready to get started with work at 9 a.m. and then I keep working until it's 5 o'clock. Of course I take breaks like whenever I need to. I mean, I am my own boss, so I can be as strict as I want, but I have to do work-related stuff until 5 p.m. and then I have to stop working. So this helps me have some time for myself in the evenings, and it also helps me spend enough time on my work. And I also try to not work on the weekends, or if I have to work on the weekends, then I try to, work like half a day and not all day, just to be sure I get enough rest, because that is really important actually for productivity as well. Productivity goes up when you get enough rest, and it goes down so much when you're just tired and stressed and just feel blah. So yeah, having set working hours and working days is really helps for me, and it also helps you feel normal when you have the same working hours as the rest of the world, pretty much as everybody else, so that you are free to interact with other people when they are free as well. That really works well for me, so that is how I kind of go about that. And also removing myself from distractions. My biggest pitfall when it comes to productivity, my biggest time thief is social media. I think I may have a little bit of a social media addiction. I tend to just scroll through Instagram and Facebook way more than is necessary at all. And also checking YouTube comments. I tend to refresh YouTube to see if any new comments have come in, and it is so unnecessary. It is such a useless thing to do, and it provides so little enrichment to my life. So I really need to stop doing that. So in order to battle that, I have actually downloaded an app that keeps track of everything I do on my cell phone. So it kind of tracks how often I open my phone, what apps I open, and how much time I spend in each app. And it's really confronting actually, just how much I use my phone. Some days I tend to be on my phone for 4 hours or more, which is absolutely ridiculous. Although I have to say those are usually the days where I spend some time in bed watching YouTube videos on my phone, but still, not always. Sometimes I just spend 4 hours on my phone randomly, so that is my biggest problem. So you really need to kind of pinpoint what it is that is distracting you from work and try to eliminate that one way or another, and just try to find out what the possibilities are. You can always use Google and kind of try to find other people that struggle with the same thing. So try to find people that have the same kind of distractions as you do and see how they handle them. There is so much productivity information out there on the internet, so you can always try. I'm sure somebody else is struggling with the same thing as you. Do you use any task management tools? Yes, I have gone completely digital with everything that comes to planning, because I work best when my planning is clean, and I notice that I often switch things up and move things from day to day and tasks and appointments, and there is nothing that bothers me more than having to cross something off on paper and then move it somewhere else and just having the whole thing look like a mess. So I have gone digital, and it has worked so well for me. I like it too because I move around the country a lot. I spend kind of 4 days out of the week here, and then I spend 3 days at my parents' house, and often 1 day of that I spend with my boyfriends. So I am always moving, and I just don't want to have to carry something around, and digital lists and calendars and stuff like that just sync to all my devices, and I always have my phone with me and usually my laptop as well, so that way I know I always have things with me, and I can easily change tasks and appointments, and I can write as much as I want to, and it's just going digital for me has been amazing, and I love it so much. Even though I really love stationery and kind of office supplies and stuff like that, I do kind of miss having a really cute calendar, but digital just it's just so much more convenient for me. So I use just Google Calendar with the Soul Calendar app on my phone for that, and I use Wunderlist as my to-do list app, and that is pretty much it at the moment. If you are having a day that isn't as productive as you planned, what do you do to turn things around? Oh, I hate those days. Those really bother me, and I usually end them in a really bad mood just because I feel like I've failed that day. But honestly, now I have been doing this for a few years, so now I know that when I feel one of those days coming up, I will usually just pick out one task that I had for that day. I always have to-do lists for every day. I make them at the beginning of the week. Every Sunday I sit down and I make to-do lists for every day of the week so that I have all my tasks finished by Friday. When I just wake up and I know that I won't be able to finish my task today because I just feel then I will pick out one. It might be the one that's most important. It might be the one that that I feel most capable of doing that day, but I will pick one task and I absolutely have to finish that one, no matter how bad I feel. And then usually I'll just excuse myself and not do the rest, and just kind of move those to other days, and just kind of go through my bad day and be unproductive, and then go to bed nice and early, sleep on it, and wake up next day feeling all refreshed. It's a new day, it's a new start, and just try again. It happens to everybody. Best thing in my opinion is not fight it, just roll with it, get at least one thing done so that you're not set back like too much. If you can get more done, try and get more done, but at least get the one task finished so that you don't feel like a failure at the end of the day, and then just let it go and try again next day and hope you feel better. How do you motivate yourself to get up in the morning? I struggle with this and I'm staying way too long in bed on days I don't need to go anywhere. Well, like I mentioned, sometimes when I feel the need to lie in, I will just allow myself to lie in. The only thing is, my personal rule is I have to start working at 9 o'clock. So before that, I mean, I can get up at 6:30 in the morning if I feel like it, and I could just wake up at 8:30. I allow myself that wiggle room, you know, just to maintain my sanity. I like to be a little bit nice to myself, but I have to start working at 9 a.m. and I always do that. Also, what really helps is I am a morning person. I like the morning better than evenings, so I tend to not really struggle with this, but I do sometimes, and then I just allow myself to lie there for a little bit longer, but I have to start working at 9 o'clock. You used to have this life binder thingy. Do you still use it or something similar? Like I mentioned, no, I just use everything digitally. I have a calendar and a to-do list, and I have my editorial calendar as well on my blog. I almost forgot about that. I have a plugin on my WordPress that kind of has my editorial calendar, so it has the content that goes up kind of on the day it goes up in calendar shape. So I know which content is coming up, what I need to do, what I need to create, and I use that to make my to-do lists. So everything is digital now. What is your opinion on bullet journals? Do you use one, or would you consider using one? I love bullet journals. I actually really like watching videos on people's bullet journals, but I don't want to use one for myself at the moment. First of all, because of the whole digital thing, I really like being digital right now. Second of all, because I feel like I would be frustrated with myself if I wasn't able to make it pretty enough, which would happen a lot, and I think it would just bring me more stress than it will bring me stress relief. So I haven't gotten to it, and I don't really plan to. I enjoy watching other people's bullet journals, but I don't feel like it's a good fit for me at the moment. If you have a bunch of work to do and all of it is important in some way, how do you decide which one to do? Do you end up letting go of the others? This is really difficult. Yes, that is pretty much the only thing you can do. You have to pick and choose. You cannot do all things at the same time. Yeah, a tip you probably don't want to hear, but it is one that I have to give, is try not to get in that situation where your workload is just more than you can take on, and your deadlines are too close to each other and you can't meet them anymore. If you can at all, try to make sure it's nice and spread out so that you can actually do everything you need to do within the time frame that is set. But if you do end up in a situation like that, you will have to prioritize and maybe drop some things. And it can be really hard, but you have to be realistic and try not to, burn yourself out. How to avoid procrastination. How to focus on a task and actually finish it. Procrastination. It is the devil. If I am really prone to procrastinating that day, I have those days where I just can't get myself to do anything productive, then sometimes what I'll do is I will set a time frame for myself within which I have to focus on the one thing that needs to be done. So for example, I will set a 30-minute timer and I will just sit down, and no matter what, I have to type a blog post for those 30 minutes. After those 30 minutes, my alarm goes off and I can stop. I can continue if I get into a flow, this way, but I am allowed to stop and do something else, and then I set another timer and maybe do another task so that I don't get bored. But setting these like short time frames that feel kind of doable, that really helps, because you know, getting 30 minutes of work done is still better than getting nothing done at all, and it can really help to kind of motivate you, because 30 minutes, you know, you can always focus for 30 minutes when you know that you are free again afterwards. How to ensure you stick to your goals. I always get really motivated for a short amount of time, so things can tend to be left unfinished. Like, for example, how do you push yourself to make videos on schedule all the time? Yeah, this is something that I don't really have that much experience with. I'm the type of person who when they start something, they have to see it through to the end. I cannot stand unfinished projects, so I always kind of just naturally want to finish things. And I also have a very strong sense of duty, so when I have said that I'm gonna do something, I will do it, because I also can't stand not following up to something that I said I would do. Yeah, I always feel like I just do it because I feel like I have to. I think this again comes down to being realistic. Making a plan for yourself and sticking to it. Like, before you start a project, make sure that it's all planned out with like little deadlines on the way that you can meet. Maybe try to alternate between the different type of tasks that are necessary to achieve the kind of end goal, so that it's, you know, varied enough, you don't get bored. But also for me, like specifically the video making thing, I mean, this is my job and I would feel really bad if I just didn't do it. You know, it feels so wrong to not do a thing that I'm supposed to be doing. And I also, of course, chose something to do that I really enjoy doing, so I actually don't mind. Of course, some days I don't feel like doing it at all, but usually I really enjoy making videos. So yeah, I think in this case it's my kind of sense of duty. When I've said I'm gonna make videos every Thursday and Sunday, there will be videos every Thursday and Sunday, no matter what. That's just the type of person I am. I'm not really sure how I can give tips on this one, sorry. Okay, so someone asks in Czech, so let me translate. How do you deal when something doesn't go the way you planned, or it kind of fails when you have been working on it for a long time and really hard? I get really frustrated and I cry a lot. That is the honest truth. That is something I can't deal with very well, but I also won't accept failure very easily. If the failure makes me kind of be like whatever and lose motivation, then I will just let it go and move on to the next thing. If the failure really frustrates me and I'm like, no way, I'm just stopping at this, then I will try another way to accomplish the thing. But yeah, I don't really have a golden tip for this. Very honestly, I will pout and complain about it and whine and cry. And then get over it and move on. How do you organize and prioritize your time in regards to work, time with loved ones, time to yourself, and all the little household things that need doing? I plan everything. I have set moments for everything. So like I said, I work from 9 to 5 on work days, but I also, for example, I have Tuesday morning to do household tasks. So I try to get all my household things done before 12 o'clock. So I do the groceries, I clean the house, and I just kind of organize things and stuff like that. And then at 12 o'clock I just start working. I spend time with friends and family in evenings and on the weekends. I kind of have set dates when I meet certain people. Like, for example, Robert's here on certain days of the week. I spend time at my parents' house on the weekends, and then I have friends over for Dungeons and Dragons pretty much every week on a set day and time. I always make sure there is room for unexpected things, like, you know, when a friend calls to see if I want to just come over and hang out, then there will usually be time for that in my schedule. But I always make sure to plan time with loved ones into my schedule so that there is a time slot for it. But if work gets overwhelming, then I have to prioritize, and I will usually put work in the first place, and then family in second, friends third, and time for myself comes last. Sometimes it comes before friends, depending on, you know, the occasion. But yeah. Okay, so this fellow blogger asks, what do you do to relax? Because she thinks that might be more important than trying to be even more productive for some people. Wink wink. So that is her and me. Yes, definitely. There are certain things that I know that will really relax me, and number one thing is being in nature and just being completely away from everything that I usually do. So getting out of the house, not checking my cell phone, just not taking my work with me, and just spending some time in nature. And it can be as little as a short, you know, like half an hour or hour walk. It can be as big as a week-long trekking trip in nature somewhere where I have just a tent and my little gas cooking thingy. That really relaxes me. I love that. I love just being in nature. Scouting is great for that, just so you know. Yeah, that is the thing for me. Being in nature, away from technology, away from the city, cars and just noise, and just taking some time to myself, reading a book, maybe not even that, just staring at the trees. That is what I do, and I try to do that very regularly. How do you convince yourself to do the chores / tasks that you really hate or really don't want to do? When it comes to these type of things, there's really not much more you can do than just bite the bullet. I usually tend to do these things first. When I have them on my to-do list, it is the first thing I do when I get up, so that I just have it over with, you know, I'm done with it. Usually when there's a task that I'm dreading, I just want it to be gone, so I try to do it as soon as possible. So either right when it presents itself, or right in the morning on the day that I have to do it, and especially trying not to procrastinate on it and just get it done as soon as possible so that it's gone. That is kind of the best tip I can give and the way I usually try to tackle it. Of course, sometimes I will procrastinate and then regret it, and then it becomes this huge thing, but it really is better to get rid of it as soon as possible. Alright guys, so that is all I'm going to discuss in this video, because it's getting really long and my tea is all gone. Sad empty cup. So I want to thank you so much for watching. I really hope you found this video helpful in one way or another. If you have any kind of golden tips that I haven't shared here, please feel free to share in the comments below. We can all help each other be more productive. If you did enjoy this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. If you would like to support me on Patreon, I will have a link in the description box. Thank you so much. I will have another video here that you may also enjoy. You can go watch next. Thank you for watching once again, and I will see you very soon in my next video. Bye!